Under the sun, the fields are alive. Cheering crowds and the teams collide. In these moments, we stand tall and free. First pride runs deep in me. With every touchdown, we rise and we cheer. Unity and spirit, the heart of the year. Raise your voices, let's make it loud. In Florida's high schools, we're so damn proud. From the bleachers to the end zone to go, football and cheers make our spirits grow. Girls in the game, they're fierce and bright. Flag in hand, they give it their might. From every town they bring their dreams. On this field of gold, nothing's as it seems. Together we shine, together we play. In Florida's heart, we own this day. Raise your voices, let's make it loud. In Florida's high schools, we're so damn proud. From the bleachers to the end zones go, football and cheers make our spirits grow. So here's to the game, we'll rise and stand. In Florida's field, we're a united band.
All right. On to the third show of the night. It is time for the Southwood edition of the Blitz here, and it is Happy National Candy Day. As Chris puts it up here on the screen here. Bring up that other sign for those who haven't seen it yet, Chris. We gotta really talk about that other sign you got.
What, the other one?
Yeah.
What, that one?
Yeah. The summer fat boy this month is for my holiday. Now hop in that sleigh and with your ton.
There you go.
It is turkey month. Known as November.
Best month of the year.
You ate candy for Halloween. I love candy corn, but I didn't have any. Somebody that actually likes candy corn. Somebody that wait, hold on, Chris. Hold on. Did I just see somebody in the chat say they like candy corn? Did I just literally see that?
Yes.
He says, tell me it's not a figment of my imagination. What was that? What was that, Emery? What was that? No, candy corn. No. No. I'm sure I've sent the state laughing down the road, down the barrel. So there you go. I mean,
it's funny. I had a delivery from Burger King, and I didn't order. I had my usual thing. In the bag they had some Jolly Ranchers.
Jolly Ranchers. Jolly Ranchers.
Yeah.
I haven't had a Jolly Rancher in so long, I forget what they taste like. Anyways, welcome to the South Florida edition of the Blitz. I'm sorry, we're having fun here, which is what we usually do with our shows. On top of talking high school football, and then as we get ready for girls flag football, we'll have a lot more girls flag football on these shows, as well as talking about the news as well. Going through some things here, we'll have a little news actually to talk about on the coaching side of things. Come the next show, the Tampa Bay edition of the Blitz here, but let's
disgusting, Henry.
I just can't. I can't. No, candy corn.
No.
Yeah.
I can't with that.
I can't with that comment. I can't with that comment, Chris. I just can't.
Yeah, I can't either.
All right, let's get into it here with no, Emery, no. We love Emery. Emery's good. He's one of our loyal supporters and everything. So he's having fun in the chat, which I love. Anyways, recapping last week, Royal Palm Beach at 6-3. Dr. Wilhelm Garcia. I think the final score on that one was 27-26. Dr. Garcia comes out with a win, gives themselves some playoff positioning that may have hurt Royal Palm Beach's chances of the playoffs, unfortunately. Not what they needed. True North. How about this? True North over Westminster Christian. They took care of business over Westminster Christian. And they did. And by the way, they took care of Archbishop Carroll as well last night. And they have won District 1A 15. So True North off to the playoffs.
Yeah, we didn't know what the heck they were going to do. So.
Well, they finally realized they needed to play that game and get it done. So there we go.
Yeah.
All right. University Christian at Key West, Thursday night game. University Christian had a little bit of a battle with Key West, but comes out on top on that one. And you see 7-3 on the season. Key West falls to 6-4, but I still think Key West is going to have Key West is in the playoffs just because that class 3A. Really. Yeah, as you know, Class 3A is just not that. St. Thomas Aquinas.
Not that spectacular.
Huh?
Not that spectacular.
No. And maybe with the changes in the classifications, that will help. Which we'll talk more about here in a few minutes anyways.
Yeah.
Shemina Madonna and St. Thomas Aquinas. Well, that was a close dandy, but St. Thomas Aquinas now 9-1 on the season. Hands Shemina their second loss of the season, Chris.
Yeah, that's not surprising.
Not surprising. The computer predicted a very close game. It was a close game indeed. I think it was like 27-21 was the final, I want to say. But yeah, yeah, in that situation. But I mean, at the end of the day, I expect with the situation, I expect Shemina Banana to still be the 1 seed in 1A Region 4. But the win for St. Thomas Aquinas should probably propel them to the number 1 seed, because here's why. West Boca Raton just literally manhandles Atlantic out of Delray Beach and hand them their first and only loss on the regular season. West Boca finishes 8-2 on the season, and before playoffs. And so, Chris, congratulations, you got that right. West Boca on that one.
Yep.
So, St. Thomas Aquinas did what they needed to, and they got help from West Boca, and most likely will be the number 1 seed coming up here when the playoff brackets are revealed on Thursday. And Glade Central and Pahokee in the muck ball. Glade Central 9-1 on the season, taking care of business against Pahokee in the muck ball.
I was surprised they pulled that one off.
I thought Pahokee was a little stronger this year, but Glade Central, got to give it to them. Chris.
Yeah.
I tried to get the Glade Central coach. He just finally messaged me back. He said it was a little hard. Tonight's just not one of those nights he can do it. But hopefully we're going to have a lot of coaches on still. We're going to still do what we're going to do during the season. Instead of just focusing Drive the State during the playoffs, we'll do Drive the State and do our shows. So that way each region still has their shows as we get ready. Because there's a lot that's going to happen here.
We'll try to get some of those coaches back on again.
Yeah, we, especially with the state championships and everything, there's gonna be a lot coming here. Interesting side note, you go on the FHSAA.com on the homepage, you will find the 2026 coaches moving van. And actually, let me go ahead. I can probably pull that up here on the screen. Yes, I can. I can do that. Right, Chris?
Yes, you can.
All right. Just give me 1 second here as I pull that up here. All right. Let's go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here. I'm going to go to the tab. Yes, indeed. We're going to share the tab here. I think I'm going to do that. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pull that. Oh, and the fiance has come in. She stuck into the office. I can just see she's off screen here, but she is home actually. So that is good. Good. All right, so I'm going to pull up the screen here, pull up the so that way y'all can see this here. So this is what's cool about doing some of this stuff here. Let's go ahead and share that screen for y'all. All right, so you can go here on the home page here. Oh, actually, wait a second. Hold on. I got one more button to click, Chris. I'm not going to do that. Let's bring it up here. There we go. So you see here, FortHSFootball.com. All right, you see here. Well, obviously, we're going to talk about that coaching news in the Tampa Bay Blitz here. That we had earlier here, but obviously you go here, you can scroll down, you can see that we have Playoff Central already linked up, ready to go. We will have playoff brackets in there. We have SSA playoff brackets already in there. And then, by the way, here we go. 2026 coaches moving van is up and running, and that is yes, we do have some kind of RV running around here. I don't know.
Wouldn't you love to have that?
Yes. By the way, we are up to 6 coaching changes here. Obviously, you can see we do have a map. I'm going to close that ad out here for a second. You can see that we have a map up here of the changes. Gadsden County, they officially opened up the position today, officially. So per FHSAA classified. So that is now officially open. You can see here we got footballs. Those footballs done by yours truly over there on the other side, Chris Light. And as you can see here, so yeah, you can kind of click on these footballs and pull it up here. Then you can kind of see here what school is on the screen here. You can see that obviously Freedom there, and then you got there's Welland Park. Oh, there's one in South Florida, by the way, and that's Miami-Norland right there. So there you go.
Yeah.
So. But y'all can see everything that's here with our thing, and you'll see the links to our articles that we have put out if we put an article out on it. But obviously, you can see obviously the schools here. And Welland Park is one of the 3 new schools that will be opening coming up here this season, this coming school year 26-27 school year. I believe Welland Park, out of the 3 that are opening, Welland Park, South Marion in Marion County, and Soundside in Santa Rosa County, I believe Welland Park will be the first that has varsity football. The other 2 won't have varsity football until at least 2028. So, because they're going to do this, they're going to open those schools, and they're going to do it. They're just going to start with ground level freshman class and then build from there. So. By the way, we've got a score update from the O'Galley Island, and it is 36-14 O'Galley, and it looks like O'Galley is on their way to that 3A8 district title. So the only district that we're going to have to really kind of wonder about what's going on the situation, and we'll talk about this here in a moment. We'll talk about this here now, Chris, is that the situation with 2A14. And that's really kind of a very, very interesting situation here. Let's talk about it.
We were talking about this earlier. Yeah.
So District 2A14, what's interesting is that it started off as a 14 district this year. And you had Miami Carroll City, North Miami Beach, Monsignor Pace, and then you have Westland Hialeah. Well, Westland Hialeah basically shut off the spigot of football halfway through the season. Lack of players, it's been an issue down there in Miami-Dade County with some schools. Morning High School in North Miami didn't even field the team this year. Hialeah Miami Lakes has had a hard time keeping players even around the roster. Same situation with Westland Hialeah. These are like 3 schools in Miami-Dade County that have had issues. If out of those 3 that I just mentioned, Chris, Hialeah Miami Lakes has a rich tradition in history. They have sent a lot of players to college, a lot of players into the NFL. They have they have at least one state title to their name. I mean, they may have more than one. I know they have one at least. And let me
one of the more historic programs in the state.
And even Larry Bluestein, the goat of all goats, I would tell you this. What's happened there is sad. And it's sad to talk about this because it's that one of the situation. But in the case of 2-8-14, Western Hialeah basically folded up shop midway through the season. I want to say it was North Miami Beach and Miami Care City. Those 2 ended up playing Western Hialeah, counted in the district standings before Monsignor Pace had to find another game. Not the situation they wanted to be in. For Monsignor Pace. So right now the district situation is this. Miami Care City, North Miami Beach, Monsignor Pace are all tied 1-1. Well, situation basically comes down to
you can count the Western Hialeah game and just toss it out the door.
Yeah. So basically at this point the district's in a tie, and we'll find out Thursday who actually wins that district, and we'll find out pretty quickly because 2A will be pretty quick. They'll go do rural, then they'll do 1A, and then they'll do 2A, and we'll find out what the situation is there. Right now, the rankings showed on last week that Carroll City was the highest ranked team of the 3 teams. So.
More than likely, it'll be Carroll City in that coming out of that district.
No, absolutely, and we'll see what's going to happen here. And this is it's going to be really, really interesting to see how these things play out. But 2-8-14, interesting scenario there. But other than that, this year the districts have pretty much been settled on the field. They're not having to rely on the rankings to break a tie this year, which is actually another. Outside of not having any hurricanes, thank gosh. We
Absolute miracle.
No hurricanes in the regular season. By the way, we're still in hurricane season until the end of this month. But
yeah,
and yes, if
y'all
not over
until it's over,
it's not over until it's over. But if y'all remember back, y'all remember 2 years ago. Was it 2020? No, 2022 season. I want to say go back 3 years actually. We had Hurricane Nicole come through and impacted the first week of the playoffs, kind of pushed some games around. We had to wait. Well, Billy Rayburg got, what was Bradford? Bradford's in the district. Bradford's a district champ. We won't know what anybody's playoff seeding until Thursday.
Yeah.
So we were just talking about with the situation in 2-8-14 here for South Florida. But other than that, every other South Florida district has been decided on, and Chris has been working on these playoff tickets that we'll be using.
Yeah.
Most of the district champs are already done. Teams that we're thinking are going to be at the large teams. Sorry, those teams that are going to FIT bracket, we're not giving you a ticket.
Yeah, we're not going to do that.
No. But
they don't count.
Chris, do we have an update on that beachside Fleming Island game? That's one of the other games that we're actually watching here. Oh, did I lose you there, Chris? Chris. I don't hear you, Chris, all of a sudden. I don't know if it's, yeah. Because I can see it on my end. I see the volume coming through. He's got a problem on his end, it looks like. Now all of a sudden, yep. I don't know what's going on. We're having some issues here with the system here. I think y'all can still hear me. Give me a thumbs up. I can see it in my monitor, but I don't know. I just want to make sure that y'all can still hear us as we roll along here. But just give me a thumbs up in the chat if y'all can still hear us with everything. But we'll get Chris back on here in just a moment. Here, it seems like we may have his microphone may have gone down here. But let's see here if everything here. Looking at it here, let me see if we got a Fleming Island beachside update here as I wait for Chris to come back. Beachside 31, Fleming Island 10. Let's see if I got Chris back here. Let's see.
There we go.
There we go. Yeah, and last show was me. This time it's you. I don't know what's going on.
I don't know what's going on.
I don't know what's going on, but that's pretty much making me feel like we got to do this.
Yeah. You have to deputy me for a second. Anyway, Beachside's up 31-10 right now in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, it looks like the district trophy for 5A3 is heading to Beachside. So, Ponte Vedra, I'm sorry. You're
Barracudas are going to win the championship.
Yep. So, and then O'Galley, it looks like they're on their way to that 3A8 title as well. So, looks like again, we're not having to rely on district tiebreakers here.
O'Galley are now up 36-14.
So, looks like pretty much the district titles have been settled outside again 2A14 down as to 1 here. But Chris, let's take a 2-minute timeout here. Oh, wait a second. What do I want to do to UFO again? No. We're going to take a break.
You're the turkey.
And then we're going to take a break here. Then we're going to come back. We'll talk more about the FHSAA stuff with the Option A stuff and everything else. And how it can impact South Florida football, too, as well, because there are definitely some interesting takes there, too.
Oh, yeah.
We'll be back here on the South Florida edition of the Blitz here in just a couple minutes.
I've been thinking about this for a long time. I thought if that's out there, I want to make sure I see it and I get involved in it because to me, this was music to my ears. I was blown away. When you look at today's kid, the millennium kid, they learn by being able to see it. If I can see it, there's a great chance that I can do it. The First Down Playbook is a tool that can essentially change the way we teach the game.
Box Out gives you the ability to create graphics at the speed of sports to highlight your athletic department, teams, and student athletes in seconds. Used and trusted by Notre Dame, Ohio State, UConn, Marquette, Georgetown, and many more of the top college brands in the country. If you want your school's brand to stand out through all the clutter, start your free demo at boxoutsports.com.
High school sports fans, follow your team live with a free ScoreStream mobile app. Download ScoreStream to get real-time scores, photos, and awesome video. Plus, follow your favorite teams and friends. Get real-time high school sports from ScoreStream.
Get ready for the 2026 Coach of the Year Clinics. This February and March, see top collegiate coaches, learn from the best, and take your program to the next level. Don't miss America's most respected coaching clinics.
Welcome back here to the South Florida edition of the Blitz here. Hello, Sunshine. Welcome to the show.
Yep, there he is.
Right here on 1-800 Florida High School Football. This is 1-800 High School Football where you get your scores, predictions, and everything else. Oh, yes. Again, we're here on the South Florida edition of the Blitz. No pick six this week. No interview here on the South Florida edition of the Blitz, but a lot to talk about, Chris. And boy, I know you said you went back and watched the FHA meeting of everything with the classifications. Boy, what was your takeaways on this whole thing?
Well, that was interesting. Half of them didn't know what they were talking about.
I'll be honest here, and I'm gonna address this here. I didn't address it in the last couple of shows here, but I gotta say this. There was a few people that decided they feel like that they said I should not have gone up and spoke at the podium. My thing is this. I might be a member of the media. I understand that some people will say, "Oh, well, people who can't speak." Well, people who can't speak, I get that. But there's also those of us that speak. But the thing is that when people don't look at information that you send to them, they don't read into any of it. My only thing is in this situation here, Chris, is that my goal is to reiterate that information in a concise manner. And, you have 3 minutes to do that. And I feel like, there was other people that did come and support. A lot of coaches, a lot of people on the other side, have come in support of this. And Corey Davis, also at the Palaca Daily News, told me I basically killed it, going up there and speaking, being confident. And honestly, at the end of the day, I was ready. I had enough. I didn't really. Go ahead.
I brought this up on that. I said, look, we're not just members of the media. We're also advocates and caretakers of the sport that we cover. And that there's a fine line between staying silent and saying and speaking up. And when we see something wrong, we're going to speak up. And
we're always going to speak up about it. And the thing is that there's so much going on here. And obviously, then we got the state Senate here, and obviously, you hear about the stuff that has happened here, in terms of the stuff with the classifications, or it's on the stuff with the recruiting. The recruiting stuff. What's going on there? There's been we saw there's like over 113 reports filed so far this school year. And, they've only had a couple instances where they've had gone and fined schools and penalized schools and coaches because they can't find the substantial evidence to go after these schools. The problem is that, again, the recruiting, the open enrollment, it's the open enrollment. It's a whole big issue. So you got that state Senate hearing. You got
what's stopping a program this year from getting a bunch of recruits this coming week and floating an all-star team on the field during the playoff? What's stopping them?
There's nothing to stop them, and it does happen. And we've seen people happen. And I'll be honest with you, it's a serious issue. And this is where people say, "Oh, it's not a public-private split," and really, it's not about a public-private split right this second, because the public schools are doing it. The issue is much more about the issue is just as about public schools as much as it's about private schools. It's
really not about private split. The fact is, the kids that are using this open transfer rule to a degree that it wasn't intended to.
No, and that's the problem that we're facing, and that's the problem I think FHA Executive Director Craig Damon pointed out today at the state Senate hearing in Tallahassee in the Education Committee. There were several different committee meetings going on. This was in the educational part of that. And but you also heard Dr. Andrew Ramjet from the Florida Coaches Coalition talk about coaches pay.
Mm-hmm.
Big deal there. All right.
You got some pretty damning evidence too.
And there was some very damning evidence, and I think I'll get Coach Ramjet on next week for one of the shows to really kind of break down everything. And maybe what it may need to do, we may have to, I don't know how we're going to have to do this, but we may have to do it overtime.
One of the things that they brought up was the fact that athletic booster clubs were not really legal in Florida. And
they're legal, but they're not legal.
It's weird.
Like they can basically pay for equipment, they can pay for anything that involves the team, but they can't even give $1 to the head coach. And then you hear about, oh, well, the parents got, a coach, $100 gift card to Chili's, and the coach gets fired. This is the problem, that you can't. We went through this last year.
with Teddy Bridgewater.
Yeah, and Teddy's putting the money into the teams, but they're saying, "Oh no, because of impermissible benefit," blah blah blah, and then next thing you know, Teddy's been fired, and blah blah blah. Now Teddy's back in the NFL.
Yeah,
and Teddy cared about those kids. We'll say that.
Yeah,
I understand the issue.
Teddy is nicest people. Teddy is one of the nicest people you ever meet.
And I know that, and again, it's, I get it. The other side is, well, these other schools don't get this kind of stuff, but this is where we're having these issues, and these issues have to be addressed at some point, Chris, because otherwise Florida's just going to keep sliding back. And this is what
they're going to have to change the booster club rules. The booster club rules in Georgia and Alabama, Texas, Oklahoma, Louisiana, they're all the same. All these booster clubs, they can contribute to the head coach. They can contribute to the assistant coaches. They can do anything they can. Those booster clubs are designed to help increase attendance.
But they're not allowed to do that here. They're not allowed to supplement the coach's pay. They're not allowed to supplement the assistant coach's pay, and that's a big problem. And that's been all state law for a long time, because the moment they give $1, oh no, you're violating this law that goes back to the 1974. It became state law in 1975. It's dealing with some. I don't even remember the name of it. And it's something
it's all antique, and that rule needs to die.
Yeah, that's one of those things where it just really needs to. It needs to.
I mean, in this day and age, with recruiting and NIL and everything else, that thing needs to die.
No, and you know what it needs to do? Someone needs to slam the brakes on this, because I gotta be honest. This whole thing with the coaches' pay, if we're not able to keep coaches, the thing is here's the thing: we have all this great talent, but here's the thing: you look at this, you look at you heard what Dr. Ramsey said about what Mike Norvell at Florida State said.
Oh yeah, that's what
he would rather go. They rather go Georgia and Alabama because they're more the athletes are more well. And it's not because of the talent level; it's more they're well rounded because they're because of their system. They're not changing coaches every year.
That's why you see a lot of Texas players on the rosters in Miami and Florida and Florida State, in Central Florida, and South Florida.
Y'all want to talk
a lot of those Texas, California, and Louisiana players, they're on those rosters in Florida because those coaches, they don't want to quit. They don't want to quit here.
I mean, think about it. This is why some kids are not that live in the state are not getting those roster spots at Florida, at Miami, at FSU, at UCF. I'm naming the big four because those are our four Power Four conference schools right now in the state.
Yeah.
You think why they're not getting those spots?
Yeah,
it's because of what's happening here with the coaching changes that happen every year, and this is a significant problem that has to be addressed at some point, and it's got to be addressed here sooner rather than later, because if you keep kicking can down the road.
Yeah, and you saw it. I mean, coaches, they're making 3 or 4 times more in Alabama and Georgia than they are in Florida.
No, and you know what? And if the state legislature keeps being like this,
yeah,
they're going to be a lot more coaches are going to be sitting there getting their U-Haul packed up, and they're going to be saying yeehaw out of the state.
Yep. Off to Texas, off to Louisiana, off to Oklahoma,
off to Georgia, off to Alabama.
Yeah.
So something's going to have to give. Something will have to give here at some point here, and school choice for academics is not the issue. The issue is that when you are transferring from an A school to a D and F, is it really about academics? That's what Mike brought up to say. The legendary Mike Hittman of Florida High and Tallahassee fame. And also, by the way, there was a guy named Charlie Ward also that spoke today too, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, that Charlie Ward. So. And by the way, Allison Posey from WCTV in Tallahassee, she said she's responding to this from John Peacock. John Peacock. So John Peacock. By the way, I will just read this out here to y'all because. So let me get this correct. Allison said this: separating public-private isn't the answer. Ending the state school choice rule as a recruiting tool is. The state has had to make a move. Asked to make a move on this as the FHSAA hands are tied when it comes to transfer rules, which is basically what it is. The FHSAA hands are tied. It's up to state legislature. State legislature created this mess. They need to undo this mess. So let me get this. So John Peacock at Venice, the head coach at Venice. So let me get this correct, Allison. Limit or cut school choice for public schools, but any kid from anywhere can choose to go to a private school. Make me understand. Private schools have no boundaries, but public schools do. Public schools can't. Private schools can scholarship kids, but obviously the public schools can't. Allison, if your child wanted to become a doctor in a nearby school at a top medical academy, wouldn't you want the choice to send your child there? Why can't a poor athlete have the choice to go somewhere that's the best for their future and possibly make more money than the doctor? Allison responds, school choice is a great idea for what you said, academics. I have no problem with that. It shouldn't be used as a recruiting tool, which is what it's become. When you have kids transferring from A, B schools to C, D, what is that? Is that what school choice was intended for? Thank you.
That's not what it was intended for. We've seen these kids going from Miami Northwestern to wherever else, and doing it right in the middle of the season. They're eligible to play right away.
Or they go from Ransom Everglades to Miami Northwestern, which is the same situation. Miami Northwestern and Plantation American Heritage. We can name two instances of that right in the middle of the dang on season this year. Stephen Thatch is almost never about academics. You're absolutely 1,000% correct, Stephen Thatch, and that deserves a round of applause for that one.
You look at what happened to American Heritage in the process of all this. Even though Dia Bell went down, They struggled. They struggled. American Heritage struggled.
Jason Lublatter joining in. I appreciate you joining here. I believe you're up in West Virginia based on the comment here. We were allowed to have boosters help pay for assistant coaches in West Virginia in 1997. This has to change here. Oh, so you got the experience in West Virginia, which I love to hear from other states. It has to change here. It has to change not only for the head coaches, it has to change for the assistant coaches. And that goes not just for football, but all sports. Hector Clavijo, the third, who is the head coach at Santa Lucia's, he's like, oh, well, if you just do the same thing with pennies, it's just going to be pennies a thing. No, let the Boosters Club. But one of the superintendent for Walton County was like, oh, well, I have, the schools are able to, in the south part of the county will be able to raise, but in the north part of the county, not going to be able to because there's not enough there. And it's like, you don't know who necessarily has the big bucks and to pay the checkbooks to open up and write those checks in your community.
Mm-hmm.
No one does. You may know a few, but I will tell you this for an instance, and I have experience with this based upon my own upbringing. When I lived in Middleburg, there was one person, a lot of mobile home lots. This person, he sold a lot of mobile home lots, and he still, I believe to this day, from my understanding, still has a lot of lots or still deals with a lot of lots, real estate. Drove an F-150, nothing really too crazy. But the gentleman had money.
Yep.
Those are the people I'm talking about that you may not necessarily see out every, that flaunted. There are those people in a lot of places.
Oh yeah, even in small towns.
So for hearing a superintendent saying that a booster that one area is not going to be able to raise the money to be able to help, you don't know that. You don't know. Totally because the law says doesn't allow that to happen with paying the coaches and in the assistant coaches, because you can't give them even a single penny basically.
Let me put it this way, Josh. There's a school out in the Panhandle of Texas called Canadian. There's a guy named Ben Orbuckle.
Ben Arbuckle.
Some of you guys may know who I'm talking about. Ben Arbuckle, back in a few years ago, when we covered the Under Armour game. The offense-defense game. I was the one that brought Ben Arbuckle to the offense-defense game. Today, Ben Arbuckle is the offensive coordinator at Oklahoma. Now, that booster club, Canadian, is one of the best booster clubs in the state of Texas. And that's a very small town, by the way.
And by the way, you know what? A lot of these guys who are playing in the NFL, these guys who are getting NIL, do you not think they might open up their checkbook and write a check back to their program that they played for?
Yeah. A lot of these players do.
Especially if they know that money's going to go to the head coach and pay for paying for coaching supplements. Same goes with basketball. Same goes with baseball. Same goes with all the other sports. If these people that are playing professional sports or have gotten big money now in college NIL, don't you think maybe they might, if they know that their coaches can get paid, they would open up that checkbook?
Mm-hmm.
Change the state law. Let these schools try. Because until you do, you're never going to know.
And everything that
you're never going to know.
Did last year, everything that Teddy Bridgewater did last year was the right thing. Everything he did last year was correct.
No, you're absolutely right. Well,
and he got penalized for it.
No, you're absolutely right. Anyways, we're wrapping up this South Florida edition of the Blitz here. We'll be back here in just a few minutes here for the Tampa Bay edition of the Blitz here on FloydFootball.com. We'll see you again in a few minutes.